welcome to the Animation Lunchbox, and today we have a very special guest.
Stop it.
Sam Estrabillo, third year illustration,
That's
and
me.
the
Co-chair vice pres of the graduating illustration class of 2017.
Wow.
Needs
Ooh,
no
impressive.
introduction.
Thank you.
And to my left we have
Nico?
Tyler?
Danielle.
Mark?
And Sammy.
and Evan. So yeah, we're gonna kick it off. We're just gonna interview Sam today.
Cool.
See, because we've basically just been talking about everything animation at Sheridan. Now we want to go to the other side
Right.
and see
Fair
some
enough.
of the illustration
Fair
and what
enough.
they have to offer.
A lot.
Yeah, no, I know.
Great. Let's go ahead. Yeah,
Alright,
sure.
that's it. Alright,
Done.
back it up.
See a little anger built up there.
Better.
So what got you interested in the program?
So like it was high school, and I was like, I have no idea what I want to do, right? And I just knew that I wanted to do art, but I couldn't do what you guys do. Like the idea, like just thinking about having to redraw an image more than once gives me so much anxiety. Like I can't do that.
We have like light boxes and like special things that help
Those,
us.
those don't make it any better for me. That won't make me like, oh, light boxes, yeah, sure, animation. But like, I like attention. Like I've always had a lot of attention to detail,
Right.
and like I like spending a lot of time on one image. And in comparison to animation, like it's the same kind of effort. Like I'm not saying that illustration is better or animation is better.
Yeah. No,
For the
I
quantity
level
of work,
ground, yeah.
exactly. So there, it balances off at some point.
Mm-hmm.
But like, what you guys do is incredible, and I can't do it. So I'd rather do illustration. It's one photo or one image for like the entire day.
It's a really
No,
good
like-
point, though.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like, if you lean more towards, like, you know, the really detail-oriented, but, like, because, I mean, animation is just, like, doing it again and again and
Oh my
again
God.
and again.
And animation's about like simplifying your forms and like trying to
Yeah.
break it down to a simple. Whereas illustration, you're trying to, well, in some
There's a
illustrations,
concept behind it.
Right,
Like there,
right.
there needs to be a purpose for everything, right?
Right.
Like that's where the time is for you guys. It's like redrawing this image and getting the movement correct. For us, there needs to be purpose behind everything. Like, why is he red? Like, why does he have a suit? Why is his arm cut off? Like, why is she like naked or something like that? Like, there needs to be reason behind it, you know?
right?
So, and like, I think I spend 75% of the time ideating. That's a word.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, ideating.
Coming up with
Yeah,
ideas.
yeah. Before I actually take, like, even start drawing thumbnails. Like, I'm like, what is going on?
And does that help with your art block that you get?
No, not at all. Oh my god. In fact, it promotes it. I just had an interview with Eric. He's another. I don't think you guys have met him.
No.
You know Eric.
Well,
Do you know Eric Nemanis?
No.
Oh no. Okay.
tell who is
Okay.
he?
Okay. So he's a third year illustration student as well,
Okay.
and like he interviewed me in for one of his projects, and I realized that when I work, something that helps me with art blocks is having all my senses, like activated.
Oh.
So there needs to be incense burning. I need to be drinking a tea, Earl Grey preferably.
Good brand.
What else? Everything in the house needs to be clean. I can't work at home, and you know, because you're my roommate. But like,
Like,
know.
you'll
I'm
see
dirty
me.
when I'm
No. Like, I'll be fiddling in the kitchen before I can even start. Like,
Yeah.
everything needs to be clean, right? And like, I find myself like jittering and all the time. Like,
So there's nothing else in your mind that
No,
you have to do
no.
anything else. Yeah.
exactly. I'll have rain and jazz music playing in the background
Ugh.
constantly.
Yes.
Yeah. So, smell, taste, hearing, and just like sight. I guess sight and touch. From like,
Right. Awesome.
Yeah.
For the
I
opposite.
never thought about that. That's
yeah,
really
it was really interesting when I realized. I was like, whoa, what the crazy.
I was gonna say it's interesting because I guess if we go into specifically animation, which is like capturing like the movement in drawings, we basically get given our piece and we animate it.
Right.
But like so, in the industry, our industry is very like there's a whole pipeline, and like I find with illustration, it can be just you start to end,
Right.
and that's where I think there's that big disconnection. Unless like when we make our own films, we're there, and we have a lot more freedom to be like more creative with it.
Mm-hmm.
But for certain, like in the industry, we're very much in one part, and then we do our job there. But you have like when you are in the industry, you're from start to finish. So
But
well,
what's
animation
really
is like a very collaborative based, industry. While illustration is more like just
personal,
artists themselves, like individual.
Well, my understanding of it is like a lot of the grads either just become like freelancers afterwards, and like that's a very independent, very scary kind of like job stream if you're not comfortable with that kind of work, right?
Right.
So like you said, like animation is like much more collaborative, but illustration can be as well.
That's true.
But like in terms of majority, and this is just based on my understanding, this could be all false fact, but I think the animation is so much more collaborative. You know what I mean? So
Well, the thing with illustration too is like you guys still learn like obviously how to paint and do all these other things. So you could work on an animated movie in the industry, being like a layout artist or a character design artist. Like it probably wouldn't be your forte to be like an animator, but you could definitely be like a part in that.
Absolutely. Like I mean, illustration and animation encompass all sorts of things. Right. It's such a broad word.
And they do overlap.
Yeah. Absolutely. There is a common ground. So.
Like drawing, painting.
Exactly.
So I guess like coming out of high school, and you were thinking about like illustration. Like, was it illustration right away? And did Sheridan like pop up on your radar right away, or were you really looking into things before you decided what you wanted to do?
Good question.
My dad's a dentist, and his dream was for me. Well, no, he secretly wanted me to be a dentist.
As every father wants you to take over the family business.
And I realized really soon when I was young that I definitely didn't want to be a dentist. Like, he would bring me into his office and be like, son, like, we have to do a surgery. No, like, my assistant isn't on calling, like, you're gonna assist. So slap on the gloves and stuff. And it was only with family. Like, because, like, imagine if this was a stranger.
Yeah, that would be
you've got, like, a 4-year-old in my mouth right now, right? He's so screwed up. But, like, as soon as he took that scalpel and made the incision, I was like, okay, I'm out. This is it. And, like, the patient, like, my cousin, he's like, Doc, like, your son's fainting. Like, oh, my God. I need to get up and walk. But back to the question, sorry.
Sorry.
The origin story.
Exactly. I didn't really know what I wanted to do. Like, people were like, dude, you were so good at art. You should totally do some art. Like, okay, fine, I'll do some art. And so I took my first art class in grade 12. And I was like, okay, well, I kind of like this. I was like, this is kind of cool. And I just went and searched art schools in Ontario, and then Sheridan popped up. I was like, all right, cool. I'll do illustration.
You didn't get OCAD or any of the other big ones?
I didn't like OCAD. Just Toronto always turned me off at that age. And like Oakville, like what's Oakville? Oakvale?
Oakvale. It's also closer to where you're from.
Exactly. So it was like it took like a couple months to get an idea that I wanted to go here, and I think it was like the best decision I've made.
Good.
Yeah.
That's really good. I'm sure like we all feel the same way with our decision to come here for our program too.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's really cool.
If you don't get
and before we forget, you're gonna draw a shape.
What?
And
we have a piece of our podcast where you draw a shape, and then anybody who wants, they can make a character out of it or do a drawing based on that shape.
If I do like a circle, does that have to be like?
It can be anything you want. Yeah. Oh. And then we want you to sign it also.
Original work.
Yep.
Yes.
You realize that I need to license that to copyright all this work.
Yeah. Also, like with illustration too. Like now I'm thinking about it. You guys go into like more of the business side also, right? Like do you have a business class or no?
Yeah, we do.
Yeah,
we do. And it's awesome. Like, that was one of the issues I had around, like, second year. Because, like, they don't teach you... I've heard all these horror stories about, like, people not teaching you the business aspect of it, right? Because I used to listen to podcasts, like, what was another one good? Sam Weber's Your Dreams, My Nightmares. And he would interview, like, people that didn't take business classes while having school, right? But yeah, we do deal with it. Like, I freelance right now, and you're forced into it, and like, it's always really, really nerve-wracking, like, coming up with your first quote. So like, what was my first project? It was like, I think it was like draw a building, And then I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna charge like $2,000 on this. Like, fuck that. I mean, like, am I allowed to swear? Sorry. Yes, you are. Okay, sorry.
I hope there's no like 5-year-olds listening.
Well, some ambitious 5-year-olds.
But it was just so nerve-wracking just coming up with a quote, and then you would like lowball yourself. I'd spend like hours on it, and I was like, yeah, I'll do it for like $50. Right?
2,000 to 50. Wow.
No, I was going ambitious in my head, and then when I said $50, she was like, oh wow, that's so cheap. I was like, damn it. I was like, god damn, right? Yeah. And so you're really forced into it, and you need to be comfortable charging these things, and you need to be comfortable talking about money, and like you guys have to as well. Like there's freelance animators, right? And you guys need to be so comfortable, because if you get on the phone with like an art director, and the art director's like, oh, what do you want to quote us on? And you're like, oh, $2,000 ? And then they're like, okay, this guy doesn't know anything about what he's doing, right? So, yeah, go ahead.
Which I was going to say is because I took VCA last year, and we had a business class, and we learned how to brand yourself as an artist, what to charge, how to, figure out, like, if you, figure out, like, okay, I want to be paid this much per hour, and I work this many hours, and then also to cover all of your like materials, right?
Absolutely.
And it can come out to a lot of money, and like in animation we have no business class, like no nothing.
Really?
Well, at least first year.
I mean first year.
Oh my god, I was gonna say, what is going on?
Mark Mayerson, who's the program coordinator, he like is very experienced in like business and managing yourself and protecting yourself, so he'll usually tell people.
He does tell us, but we don't have a class that actually focuses on just the business aspect and like branding yourself,
like even copywriting or anything.
Yourself.
Oh my god!
Well, you have to take it on your
but no, since it's like a studio model, we kind of get an idea usually, and it's not like illustration with Sam, like where it's like more freelance, and like you have to kind of like sell yourself correctly and give the right prices. Where with us, it's like we get hired by studio, we have a flat salary.
Oh really? Money. Is that how animation really works?
Well, it's if you're not freelance. If you get hired by, that's what it attracted me to.
Yeah, the two options is you work as a freelance, or I mean, I'm sure there's more than three. Yeah, there's more than two options, but like the other big thing is that we have like for animation you have an animation studio, and they hire you as a weekly bi-weekly salary.
Right. Oh my god, that's insane.
Yeah, because you can get hired by contract work, so they'll hire you for a year or two, or they hire you full time and just you get full salary.
Or they'll hire you for like a movie.
That's like a thing that I was because before I got into animation, I applied to animation and illustration, and I got on the waiting list for animation, but accepted in illustration. So I was thinking, like, okay, if I don't get into animation, I'll take it.
It's like a fallback.
Yeah, and the thing that I was worried about is that, like, I'm not good at, like, selling myself, like, all the time, like, into freelance. So, like, animation, you obviously have to, like, sell yourself and have a portfolio and stuff. But if you, like, but you just get into a studio, you sell yourself, you do it, and, like, if you're freelance, and then you have to keep doing it, and, like, you have to, like you said, be comfortable with what you want to charge, and like be like, not even like have a good price, but also be very like adamant about it. Like if somebody wants something and you're like, all right, $200, and they're like, oh, that's too expensive.
Believe
you can't be like, okay, I'll do it for this. You gotta be like,
yeah,
sorry, right?
No,
so
absolutely. And like after you get a little bit of experience, and like after you work at it for a while, you'll understand what you're worth. You know what I mean? Like, and like.
There's obviously trial and error too.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Like I've screwed up so hard, and I had you in a project. Man, that was crazy, and we got terminated from the project, but I still got the money. But like, it was just not us at all. It was like a brochure for like this health, like this really really big, like it's a catheter. Do you know what a catheter is? Yeah. So anyways, I knew her husband through a friend, and he was like, oh my god, you're like an illustrator designer? It's like, oh, you'd be perfect for the job. So this girl who's like a professional marketer is like, oh man, hasn't even looked at any of my stuff, whatever, right?
Yeah.
And I charged her like $4,000 for it. Oh. And she bought it. She was like, yeah, cool, do it. But like the work we came out with was so like, oh my god, it's like the worst thing. I would have never charged it for that much ever. Like maybe like $50. What?
They did like a brochure.
So she was coming up with like a new line of catheters, It was like the first ever of its kind. It's like dual like it can expand and like cling and clean, just like all this really descriptive stuff. But like, I was not a designer. I'm an illustrator, man. Like, I don't design brochures. I illustrate images.
That's the next thing is like when to turn down. Like if you have like a family friend. Like I as an artist, I'm sure you've all had a family friend or someone be like, oh my god, can you do this for me? Or just a friend for free, or
hell no.
Or you're an artist, can you just do this for me? And then, but it might not be in your like spectrum of like either like you said, you're like this is not something I can do as like an artist, but that doesn't mean like you're any less of an artist. Just like play to your strengths, I guess.
Or maybe something you don't want to do.
Exactly.
As a doctor, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's like I still do free work.
Yeah.
But these are for people that I've been best friends with since young. Right. And I believe I don't believe in free work ever. Like, you should never do free work. It doesn't matter.
It's your profession.
Exactly.
Yeah. And it's like you have a skill set and your time is valuable. Like,
absolutely.
You need to offer them. It's not just I'll do it for free. It's like, well, I have my skill to offer you. I should be charged. You gotta pay me.
That's it. Like, let's say you're a doctor or dentist. Like,
yeah, exactly. They get paid for their time.
Exactly.
Yeah, you don't do stuff for free. Oh, let me just do some open heart surgery.
I'll do this for free, because I know you real good. But go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like I've run into that a lot with like family friends and stuff, where they're like, you can draw me a picture.
Don't do it.
Like,
I think it's because they base it more as like a hobby for us, but it's not just a hobby.
It's not a hobby.
It's like a life. People have that view of art where it's like, you can just draw a picture real quick, you'll be done like real. It's like no problem for you.
That's the other thing, like the whole concept. Like my brother's like, I'm going to school for science and like to be like a pilot.
You have it easy.
You
go to
art school. You just have to go and draw some circles at school, and then I'm like, excuse me.
The most perfect circles.
Yeah.
If only you knew.
It's like a weird thing too, because like, if you're like moving or something, right, and you ask your friend for help or something, and he has a truck, even though that is only just like a friend helping a friend, you're still like, I'll pay you for gas, I'll buy your dinner. But then they're like, can you draw me something? And you're like, that's a higher thing for
different
something else. Yeah.
That brings that whole thing of like I don't think people understand the value or like the time and effort that goes into our work.
Right.
My mom would be calling me during the week, and I'd be like, Mom, I can't talk. I have an animation due tomorrow. I can't talk right now. And she got so mad at me. And then she came down, and I was like, Mom, this is what I
draw.
Yeah, I was like, Mom, this is what I was doing.
You don't love me no more.
Like I was like, Mom, look at this, and I like showed her the stack of drawings, like 3-4 centimeters thick, and she just like looked at me. She's like, "I'm really sorry for getting mad at you. I did not realize how much work that you actually had."
But that's so nice that she understands. Like, there's so many people out there that like you show them work, and they're like, "Oh man, that's so easy." Yeah. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Do you know that illustration I put up on? Oh no, never mind. On to the next question. Because I was gonna say that took a lot of time, but like we can throw it up in the video,
or we can link it.
Oh my god,
what? We'll definitely link to your if you have like
if there's anything you want to if you want to plug anything right now.
Don't forget to follow, subscribe, like, share this video.
No. For yourself.
No,
I know. I've got my own website. We'll talk about it.
We'll put it in the description.
Yeah.
But one more thing back to that. Another thing I've been told is like be careful like your price settings. One thing I've been said is like never give a flat fee. Give a fee based on workload, because otherwise some people run into that thing where like you give a flat fee, like okay, I'll do this for this much, and then like more work, and then more work comes in, and then like it just you end up like going in the red because you
just don't have the time.
Exactly, and then you end up losing money on the project because like you just took way too long for the amount of money you offered. Exactly.
Well, it's like what Jason says.
However long you think it's going to take you, double that, because that's how it's really going to take.
It's such a sad thing to say. I'll finish this in like 5 hours.
It's so true though.
3 times, because it's so true. You look at assignments.
Podcasts now.
That's like what, 3 out of 5? That's
like our slogan.
That's our slogan.
Sometimes even when like I double the time, it's like I end up running a lot more than that.
Oh my god. If there's one thing I've learned though, it's like you learn your pace and you know how you work, and you learn like that's one thing I really like about the illustration program as well, is they throw, well, for you guys too, they give you guys, I can't believe they give you guys all your projects for like the
whole
term.
year.
That's
the whole
insane.
Year.
That would give me so much anxiety.
No, yeah.
But what we get in our program, we get briefs, and we get them like, so the teacher plays the role of the creative director, and we play like, he'll say there's a client that wants these illustrations. You have to do a book cover. You have a week to do the roughs. I want 2 completed, and then the week after finals. And it's just like, it's really professional, especially by like 3rd year. The briefs become so formal and casual at the same time that like you're no longer a student anymore. You consider yourself as like a professional, and you guys really should be. Don't ever lowball your price because you're a student. That's bull, right? Like, you guys are professionals, you guys are pros, and like, you learn how you work. So for me, I realized that I need like to be drinking tea, I need to have burning incense, jazz music in the back. And like, I know that if it's a book cover, I can get the roughs done in like 2 days, and then if I take like a break in the middle to cook something, and then like, you break down your days. And that could just be me, but I learned how to manage my time much differently than I was right out of high school. I was like, oh, let's, like you and me. I met Evan way back in like 1st year art fundies, it was, I think like that was the most carefree we've ever been, because we didn't even finish projects. Like, we were just like so, like, oh, project due tomorrow, let's go grab some beers instead. Screw that, like, this is we
now I get anxiety when
oh my god,
like I have a week to do something. I get anxiety before, and
like 2 weeks, like, okay, if I get a beer, then that means I sacrificed like a full week.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And
so like, speaking of that, like, how has the program evolved for you from 1st to 3rd year?
It's a lot. Like, I had no experience in art. Like, I took right after high school, I took a victory lap and went to a school that did only art, right? So they had a full floor. Like, it was a high school that had like a 5th floor dedicated to art. I took like an animation course, I took a painting course, I took a designing course, and it was all fun stuff. I knew then that like animation was not my jam. Like, my first ever animation was the Mickey walk. And I did it with like this really shitty stick guy, and he would do like these weird like shoulder bumps, and it was just so ugly. I was like, oh my god. But in 1st year they level you off. So a lot of people, you'll hear it, is they'll say, oh, 1st year was a breeze because like it's art fundies or VCA all over again, right? And that's just because they want to get everyone to a level, because I was under that and I felt like 1st year was challenging, and then 2nd year it's just like, here's this, and then it's just like, fuck you, and just like skyrockets, and it's like, here's a bunch of work you could do now that you're at this level, right? And then 3rd year was no difference. It's like, you thought 2nd year was bad? Here's 3rd year! Have fun! And they'll just throw it at you. But by that time, it's not the program that's evolved, it's you. Right? Like, you've changed, you've matured. You're buying groceries now, you're doing your own laundry, you're living on your own.
Hopefully you've matured a bit.
Yeah, exactly, right?
Well, actually, that brings up, like, a good question with the whole thing about, like, level of, like, being ready for the program. Like, I know OCAD and a lot of art colleges have, you start off, everybody starts, no matter what program you're in, every year is basics in everything,
right?
And then you get to choose what you specialize
right.
in after that. Now, do you think that school, and then you said you also did art fundies, do you think that helped you really solidify that you wanted to go into illustration?
Well, yeah, because it just reinforced the fact that I wanted to make images. Like, I just wanted to create beautiful art, but I wasn't mature enough, and like, I faced the fact like that I was not ready to handle like art school. Right. I was still like, man, I'd so much rather get a beer than work on homework instead. I would procrastinate to the last minute, and then it wasn't until I started seeing some of the work here. Like, it wasn't until I got into art funny, I was like, oh my god, like, I can do this stuff.
That's
like,
what's awesome.
Yeah, right?
Like, all the work on the walls.
Because, like, in high school, and, like, I bet you guys probably experienced this too, but it was like, you were the artist in the school. They're like, oh yeah, Nico, man, like, oh, get Nico to do it. Like, he would do a sweet job, you know?
See, I was gonna say that's different for me. I went to an arts-based high school, so I was always had that.
So you must have had this experience earlier. So like, as soon as right after high school, I went to Sheridan. I was like, oh man, I'm hot shit. Like, no one can touch me. I'm like the best artist ever, right? And I'm not gonna lie, I had that kind of like pride in me. And then when I walked down the illustration hallway, I was like, oh my God. I tucked away my portfolio. I was like, God, I can't believe I brought this on the first day. I didn't though, but like, just when you realize that you aren't as good as you thought you were, and like there's someone that you can strive to be better, like strive to be and want to be better than, like it's a motivating thought, you know?
Humbling,
you know, like especially all your inspirations, like all these people that you really enjoy and you aspire to be like, at some point you would like to like go beyond them and then inspire people like they inspired you. Like that's what I think. In sometime when I've got my own little freelance business or like I've started my own little studio, I would want some high school kids to be like, oh my God, Sam, like I love his portfolio. Oh my, I've been following him since he's been at Sheridan. Oh my God, his podcast at the Lunchbox was sick. You know, like
just use that one little
thing. You know what I mean?
So what artists inspire you or have inspired you? If you can name like
so many.
One or two.
I don't know the artist. What's his name? Okay.
No, if you can't think of it off the top of your head, that's okay.
I'd say Victo Nye, Marcos Chin. Oh my God. He does these. Oh my God, I'm a terrible illustrator.
No, that's okay.
These guys are awesome. Like they're all freelance illustrators.
Right.
And the guy that did Tekken Kinkri, like all the concept art for that, like you guys should probably
be.
Yeah,
no, yeah, that's.
Oh my God, what the hell?
I know.
You know, insane. Just these artists that take so much time to, and the thing that they do that I really like is they communicate an idea, which is what illustrators want. They like this. You create images to communicate something. Like it could be a visual metaphor. It could be just like a general idea, as clearly as you possibly can. You know what I mean? So yeah, those guys are like my tops.
Well, what about like your process and how you get inspired? Like, do you see things that spark inspiration?
There's a lot of stress and a lot of starvation, a lot of blood and tears that goes through that. The process is like, it's all about the process. The execution is maybe like 20% of the work. It's coming up with the idea. It's communicating it clearly. It's getting the colors right. I still can't get colors right. I don't know, like colors will always intimidate me. Always. Like my go-to colors are blue and orange.
Yeah.
You know?
Blue and orange.
Such a good, it is, I think
blue and orange is everywhere.
I think it's like the most
it is the most used in
color
movies.
palette. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
and
for sure.
It's just cause like it's a go-to. Like go back to your basics.
Well, that's interesting. Like coming back to the whole thing that you believe it's all process. Our entire industry is years of process for like 42 minutes or like an hour or like even like 5 minutes, 3 minutes.
Or just like to bring it to the greatest extent, like Richard Williams' film. That still is like 2 hours, right? He spent 30 years on that.
Yeah.
He was like that.
30 years. 30 what years. The hell?
He didn't even finish it.
What?
He went over budget. Way
Dude, really?
Over budget. Oh, yeah, of course. 30 years on
that's
like 2 hours.
Although it is incredible, though.
What was it called?
Thief and the Cobbler.
Yeah, Thief and the Cobbler.
Let's go check that out. That sounds really freaking
No one
cool.
even knows about it, mostly, because it just got buried. A lot of crazy. There's a documentary about what that 30-year process of making it, and how it just kind of crumbled away from him.
The documentary.
So sad.
The documentary is 30 years also.
Like a 30-year it took 30 years to film it. Oh my God, that's insane.
But then that shows you how similar like.
Well, art is very process-based. It's about planning. You know, just like, I'm going to paint a masterpiece.
Yeah.
You got to plan that out.
Yeah,
so what you're
break
do.
it down to the roots. I mean, it's art. That's what we're in.
Totally
I guess that's kind of where the misconceptions come from. People who aren't artists or know about art just see the final product and that's all they think about. They think, oh, that was easy. They just got up and did that.
Yeah, no, exactly.
That frustrates me so mad. Though that makes me so mad when people are like, "Yo, just draw," and you're like, or when they're like, "Here, draw me a picture," and you're like, But do you want me to draw you? Like,
do you want there to be a message?
Yeah, and like if you don't get it right instantly, you feel like if someone tells you like, oh draw me something, and you draw it, and you're like, this is really shit, and they look at it like, oh, I thought you were supposed to be.
Our
industry
is so personal.
So much stuff we gotta do,
Like, Nico and I were having this conversation on a walk back, but our work, like, we put so much of ourselves out there.
Yeah. And then we get judged.
And you get judged so hard.
So hard.
It's like, oh, you draw, like, this looks like anime. And you're like, oh, God, shut up. Such offensive.
That's so true, though. Like, we put, like, a lot of, like, who we are out there in the world. And that's, like...
Gotta face the haters.
Wow, yeah, that's tough.
So many haters.
You have to know who you are,
True.
which is something I don't think a lot of people think about unless you're in something like this.
True.
Because you have to put yourself out there.
That just shows you how tough we are, and that's why there's like the we're deep and emotional. How would you like it if we put like you put everything you are out? And people are like, it's crap, or
I still get
like
not my taste.
Yeah. Like, you're not my taste, okay?
I'm just surprised, like, the length of time it takes, like even being in it, like, yeah, okay, I recognize that it takes longer to do something, but then if I see, like, an artist who's painted something, like, traditionally on Instagram or something, and they're like, yeah, I've been working on this for years. Mm-hmm. You're like, like you're
really?
Like, oh
wow.
shit, like it humbles you too, because yeah, you even as an artist, you almost don't realize how much goes into someone else.
Oh my god!
Sometimes.
Yeah, for sure.
You have a better understanding though, like especially like this has been the first year for you guys, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So you guys see animation work, like even grad work or like third year work, so differently than you did before this, right?
Yeah.
So it's just it's going through the process and like having to go through what they went through to fully understand that. Like, you know, you're gonna
Before you look at it, it's almost like it's impossible.
Yeah.
Herculean thing. It's like I'm never gonna get there. It can't be done. Then,
exactly.
Like, when you get in there, you start working, and you see like, yeah, I can see myself getting
there. Yeah, like it's relieving as well, right?
Yeah, and you know that, and especially when you hear from them, they said they went through the same shit we do. You know? Sometimes it means slacking up, failing classes, or like insecurity in their work. The same stuff.
That's the thing that comes like with maturity level of going into it. Like you said, you definitely realized like you weren't like ready, but now you feel like you're more like ready into it. Do you think that taking an extra year to learn who you are is a better idea, or do you think, or like until you think you're ready to go in and start learning and experiencing?
So like, do you think art fundamentals was a good idea rather than going right from high school into illustration?
I think it was one of the best ideas because I met you, buddy.
Aww, so much love.
But I don't, honestly, I think art fundies is important for people that still don't know what they're doing.
Right.
But if you know you want to get into illustration, animation, you're better off taking the year off doing some self-driven projects and creating work for yourself, because art fundies, again, it's just to level everyone off, right? And you hear it over and over again, but first year of illustration is very similar to art fundies in terms of workload and sometimes the projects.
Yeah.
You know,
it's obviously more
it's
more difficult than there are.
And for me, it was very much needed because I didn't realize how much work was involved with art making. You know, like I didn't realize that mixing colors was harder than I thought. I thought it was just like green was made from these two colors, like, you know,
green and yellow make glalo.
I can count to G. But yeah, like, see, it's different for everyone, and it's a hard question to answer.
I know personally, I was glad I took the extra year. I feel like I'm ready. I have more confidence in myself as an artist.
Good. You're already in the doors too, right?
Exactly. I feel like I know a lot more. I feel like I see other kids that are just out of high school and they're struggling with a lot of things. Like not only are you coming into a program in college and stuff, but all of a sudden now you might be living on your own. You might be having to figure out who you are, doing laundry, all this stuff on top of that. And like I think sometimes that extra year, maybe not as an intense course, would like just kind of learning life a little.
Help eases you in.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
I think, go ahead, Sam. No, go ahead.
Please.
That's right. Go ahead,
honey. I think if you are very driven already and you can work by yourself, then you don't necessarily need that extra year. Like, just work on it yourself. You don't have to pay for any rent. Also, money.
Yeah.
If you are in like a financial problem, like you should probably just do some self-driven stuff.
Yeah. And there's so much you can find online. There's like, to be self-driven, you can find like classes online that are cheaper. There's referencing you can like go on to.
Right. Yeah.
You know, like,
for more opportunity for people who just want to, develop on their own.
Exactly. Don't be afraid to, like, for any of the listeners, like, if you're gonna start any like self-driven projects, don't be afraid to experiment stuff. Like, be fun with your work. Like, try different colors. Do things that are different. Don't do anime. Oh my god, don't do it. Don't do it, because especially if you're gonna apply to illustration
or animation.
No anime, no mythical stuff. What else?
Like unicorns.
I heard your
unicorns and dragons.
I heard your first podcast. Don't do furries either.
Yeah.
God.
Anthropomorphic. That's the one.
Zootopia.
Go ahead. What were you saying, sir?
Oh, I was gonna say, like, in terms of mythical stuff, like, what do you mean? Do you mean like dragons, or do you mean like elves? Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
What is that
like? You're better off just doing, like, I wouldn't even risk it. Yeah. It's like mythological, but like a unicorn, but without the horn.
And it's sparkly.
Yeah.
So like a sparkly horse. Like, I would just, because what they look for in your portfolio is they want to see that you can observational work. Same with animation. So do a lot of life drawing. Go out to a restaurant or like some random cafe and just do some sketches. Right. Like, that's a great way, and like,
it's the best for any profession.
Absolutely.
Anything you do, yeah.
Absolutely. And I'm not sure if they still do this for illustration, but they might have changed it because they changed the portfolio for animation, right? But you have to hand in a portfolio or a sketchbook, and in your sketchbook, they don't want to see final pieces. Like, that's what I thought going into the program. So each page, like, I still suffer this. It's called sacred page syndrome. It's where each page of your sketchbook is sacred, and something beautiful needs to go onto each page. And if something isn't beautiful, the sketchbook is trash. And then you just throw it away.
Well, that's because the sketchbook is where you're supposed to experiment.
That's where you're supposed to start, right?
Yeah.
And then you take something that's sacred and beautiful.
I remember, like, it was so hard for me to start a sketchbook because, like, that first page, I wanted it to be, like, something that, like,
beautiful.
Yeah, like, when you open it, like, that's, like,
I still do that. I don't draw on the first page.
Same.
Yeah.
What?
I go to the second page.
Page.
Yeah, I go to the second page, too, still. But, like, even the second page, like, when you flip it, I want it to be, like, something. Like,
I reserve the first page as, like, contents, table of contents, and just put on just the things I like in it. Don't flip to this page. Trash art.
Wow.
You know?
Buy insert artist name.
Bitch.
I know, but like, serious guys, you need to check out his work. It's like,
stop it.
Point.
Cut it out. But yeah, like, just, like, no, we were saying no anime, what?
No anime, no mythical creatures, no
observation.
furries.
Just stick to it. Just go out there.
It's very similar to animation, but you hand in a sketchbook as well, because you guys don't hand.
You don't have to. I know a couple of some
I think illustration they still do, but animation you can use it as a personal piece, but it's like you gotta put it in. Yeah, sketchbook pages. Yeah, essentially.
Sketchbook pages are so valuable. Like, don't rip out anything that has scribbles or like any little doodles. Keep those doodles. Doodles are so important.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You know, those are thumbnails.
Or even like, I started, if I draw on other paper and I kind of like it or like where it's going, I'll glue them into my sketchbook.
I like sketchbooks that don't close. It's such a weird thing. Like, Dylan has a sketchbook where he just, like, ripped out pages and just stuck crap in there. He'll glue random.
Dylan is also a third-year illustration student.
He is an illustration student, which you guys should have. He's got some really awesome insight. He's really, really hip. You know?
Super hip.
Yeah, super hip.
All right, so just kind of round us off, Sam. What are your goals? And I guess when you're graduating from Sheridan in the illustration industry.
Oh my God, I've never been asked this question before. No, I haven't. So. Like any avid college student, I want to travel the world and see what the world has to offer.
So valuable, actually.
Yeah, it is. There's a different kind of maturity that happens when you travel.
Yeah.
Right? But like kind of do that in like an artistic way. Like there's a purpose. Like go out and like come back as a rebirthed illustrator.
But that's just like the intense version of observation. It's like, absolutely. All right, let's take everything I know about observational art and then just like view the world.
Right.
Yeah.
I think like when you do that though, you get like you see different styles, you see different content, and you just mature differently as a person, as an artist, and all these sorts of things, right? Sure. But I'd say I definitely want to start my own little business, you know, cool, with this handsome little puppy. I'm not sure what, but I know I would like to start my own studio. I've not roughed out the edges, but it's gonna be something awesome and fun. But
that's okay that you don't know.
Yeah, you have time.
Yeah, and we don't know. Yeah, you guys are first year. Relax. Don't worry about it. You guys still have so much time.
Like, the one big thing too is like there are people that are in the industry and they're like successful now, but you can't really like judge yourself based on them because they could be like you can't like base like your chapter like your chapter 1 versus their chapter like they're probably on chapter like 50 of what they know what they've what they've gone through,
and you
right?
don't know how old they started. They might have been drawing since they were like long. They started drawing way before you did.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. Like don't like compare yourself to other people because they could be on chapter 20 or you're on chapter 1.
And it's easy to with all that you see.
Yeah, you see the and you think like I need to be at that level. Yeah. But like for them to get at that level, it took a process and a length of time for them to get there.
Right. No, like, and that's the thing. Like, you shouldn't compare yourself. Like, it's an awful trait that every artist has.
Yeah, it can be motivating.
It can be totally motivating if you use it for that purpose. Look at it
as opportunity and not as like, oh my god, I can't ever be this.
Right. Like, some of the people that motivate me, I compete with. Like, if you can see it that way and not be like, I'll never be like them. Yeah. You know? And you should evaluate yourself differently, not by like level of skill, because skill is completely teachable. Mm-hmm. Like there are artists out there that are amazing that spent years and years of their life just training themselves to be good artists. Mm-hmm. And then there's the people that are just born with it, you know? Mm-hmm. But they have a different kind of motivation than you do, you know? So like as long as you're motivated, as long as you want to be the best as you can be, like you'll be fine. Yeah. And just like openness to different things.
And that's really what it is. I mean, it's not. I mean, there's not really like, you know, talent that you're just like, born with. It's really the large majority, like 95%, is how hard you work at something or your ambition or whatever. Yeah.
Absolutely, no. I totally believe that. Mm-hmm. You guys should take that to heart, guys. Boom, boom. That's how you should end off the podcast.
Right. The heartbeat. All right, well, that's all the time we have today.
Yeah.
Sam Estrabillo, third year illustration. You want to add to that title again?
Co-chair and vice pres of the graduating class of 2017.
Woo!
Thank you for being here with us.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for coming.
Awesome.
No worries.
So we'll definitely throw your website or whatever plugins you want into the description.
And do it up.
You also are drawing the shape for us this week, so thanks for that.
Yeah.
Whoa. All right.
Cool.
Yeah. Podcast out.
Yeah, so thanks for listening to the Animation Lunchbox.